Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this thing can't even buy gum, how could it possibly be worth more than $1, let alone $1 million? Well, my friends, grab your magnifying glasses and put on your coin detective hats because today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1988 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right. A little copper coin that's worth $1.1 million in today's market. Let's talk about how this humble penny made its way to the big leagues and how you might just have one lying around without even knowing it. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this one. First, let's get the basics out of the way. What's up with the 1988 no-mint mark penny, and why is it special? Well, back in 1988, pennies were primarily struck at 2 mints, Philadelphia. Most of these pennies are your everyday kind of coins, the ones you accidentally drop in parking lots or find under couch cushions. A few 1988 pennies from the Philadelphia Mint weren't so ordinary. These rare coins have a unique die error that makes them ultra valuable. This error occurred during the coin-making process when the mint accidentally used the obverse die, the side with Lincoln's face, intended for a different year's penny. This created a subtle variation that coin collectors absolutely lose their minds over. So, how can you tell if your 1988 no-mint mark penny is the one that could turn you into a millionaire? Let me break it down for you. Flip the coin over to the reverse side, focus on the initials FG near the base of the memorial. On the rare 1988 penny, the initials are styled slightly differently because they were carried over from the 1989 penny design. Yep, it's that tiny detail that makes all the difference. Unless you have superhero vision, you'll need a magnifying glass or loupe to spot this subtle design difference. It's not super obvious, but once you know what to look for, you'll never unsee it. Check your pocket change, your coin jar, or even that stash of pennies you've been meaning to cash in at the Coinstar machine. You might just strike gold or copper, technically. And now, you might be wondering, okay, so it's rare, but why is someone paying over $1 million for it? Great question. The value comes down to a few things. Only a handful of these error coins exist, which means they're highly sought after by collectors. If your penny looks like it's been through a war, it's still valuable, but a coin in pristine, mint-state condition can fetch top dollar. Some collectors will do anything to complete their sets, even if it means shelling out big bucks for a single coin. And let's be honest, there's just something magical about turning a 1-cent coin into $1 million payday. It's like the ultimate Cinderella story, but for currency. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, the one filled with random batteries, half-used tape rolls, and receipts from 2012. Anyway, I found a handful of pennies in there, including a 1988 no-mint mark penny. I didn't think much of it at first, but after doing some research, I realized it had the coveted FG error. I was so excited I nearly dropped it down the vent. Long story short, I sent it off to a coin grading service, and while it didn't turn out to be the $1 million variety, it was worth a few $100. Not bad for something that was just chilling in my kitchen. Moral of the story, don't underestimate the power of a penny. Now, before you go tearing apart your house looking for that penny, here are a few quick tips for all you aspiring coin hunters. Don't get caught digging through the tip jar at your local coffee shop. People tend to frown on that. Be prepared for friends and family to think you're a little crazy when you start inspecting every coin you come across. But hey, they'll stop laughing when you're cashing that 6-figure check. Remember, patience is key. For every valuable penny, you're probably going to sift through about 10,000 ordinary ones. But when you finally find the one, it'll all be worth it. The incredible story of the 1988 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Who knew something so small could pack such a big punch? If you've got a jar of pennies sitting at home, now's the perfect time to go through it. Who knows? You might just be sitting on a hidden fortune. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We've got plenty more coin tips, tricks, and stories coming your way. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this channel is your ultimate guide to coins worth big money. And hey, if you've got a cool coin story, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching, and remember, every penny counts, especially when it's worth $1.1 million. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, its value, why collectors are obsessed with it, and how you could potentially cash in on one. So grab your coffee, or better yet, grab your penny jar, and let's talk money, baby. First, let's break down what makes this penny so special. The 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is famous for one key detail: its missing mint mark. Typically, pennies minted in Philadelphia would have no mint mark, but in rare cases, some errors during production caused pennies to be struck differently. This particular 1986 penny gained its million-dollar status due to its rarity and immaculate condition. And if you're sitting there thinking, great, but my 1986 penny has some battle scars, don't worry, your coin might still hold value if it's in decent shape. But for those coins in near-perfect condition, that's where the real money comes in. And now, you might be asking, how did a coin even get to be worth $1.2 million? Excellent question, my financially curious friend. The value comes down to two things: rarity and demand. Collectors love coins with unique errors or limited production, and when the coin also has historical significance, it becomes the crown jewel of a collection. Think of it like baseball cards or Pokemon cards, but way older and slightly more metallic. When collectors hunt for these coins, they're looking at everything: the edges, the shine, the lettering, and even the tiniest scratches. It's kind of like when you're picking out avocados at the grocery store. You poke, prod, and inspect for any blemishes. Coin collectors? They're just the avocado hunters of the money world. Speaking of inspections, let me tell you about the time I thought I had struck gold, or, well, copper. One day, I was sorting through my change jar, trying to scrape together enough for a vending machine snack, when I spotted a shiny penny. I held it up to the light like I'd just discovered the One Ring. I Googled furiously, compared pictures, and got way too excited, only to find out it was worth exactly 1 cent. Lesson learned: not every penny is a jackpot, but hey, it gave me a story to share with you fine folks. And now I double-check all my coins, just in case. Now, back to the 1986 penny. To spot one that's valuable, you'll need to keep an eye out for key details. First, make sure it's a no-mint mark version, meaning there should be no tiny letter beneath the year on the front of the coin. Second, condition matters. The closer your penny is to being in pristine shape, free from scratches, discoloration, or wear, the more likely it is to fetch a high price. A professional grading service can help you determine its exact condition, but even a quick glance can give you an idea. Some of these coins have fetched insane amounts at auctions. In fact, one pristine 1986 no-mint mark penny sold for over $1.2 million. Imagine turning a penny into $1 million. That's the kind of ROI that makes even the fanciest stockbroker jealous. So, the next time someone tells you pennies are useless, just smile and nod, and then go check your coin jar. Oh, and a pro tip: don't clean your coin. Seriously. Cleaning can damage the surface and lower its value. It's like trying to fix a classic car with duct tape. Just don't. First, never underestimate the power of a penny. That spare change sitting in your car's cup holder or at the bottom of your couch cushions might just be worth a fortune. Second, if you do find a 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, treat it like royalty. Get it graded, keep it safe, and maybe even start dreaming about what you'd do with $1.2 million. And lastly, remember that collecting coins isn't just about the money, it's about the history, the stories, and, let's face it, the thrill of the hunt. Go grab your change jar, dig through it, and see what treasures you might have hiding in plain sight. And if you find something interesting, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and fascinating coin stories coming your way. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Did you know that you could be holding a penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Yes, you heard that right, a single penny, just hanging out in your piggy bank or coin jar, could change your life. The thing I barely pick up off the sidewalk? But trust me, this isn't just any penny. Today, we're talking about the 1996 D-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, one of the most elusive treasures in the coin world. Stick around because we're going to break down what makes this coin so special, how to spot one, and why collectors are willing to pay over $1 million for it. Plus, I'll share a personal story about the time I almost threw away a coin that turned out to be worth big money. Spoiler alert, I'll never underestimate loose change again. Alright, let's dive right in. First off, what's the deal with this 1996 D penny? At first glance, it might look like any other penny you've seen, a brownish coin with Lincoln's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But as the saying goes, it's what's inside that counts. Well, in this case, it's what's on the coin that counts. So this coin was minted in Denver in 1996, hence the D mint mark. But not all 1996 D pennies are created equal. The ones worth the big bucks are typically in pristine condition, have rare errors, or display unique die varieties. Fascinating. Some 1996 D pennies have double die errors, where certain details on the coin, like the letters or Lincoln's profile, appear slightly doubled. It's like the coin had a little too much coffee while being struck. This kind of error is a collector's dream because it's rare and unique. Collectors are obsessed with mint state coins, those that look like they just rolled off the production line. If your 1996 D penny is shiny, clean, and free of scratches, you're in business. A perfect grade, called MS-70, is almost impossible to find, but even slightly lower grades can fetch thousands, if not millions, at auction. Here's the good news: you don't need to be a professional numismatist to check your coins. Grab a magnifying glass or, honestly, just use your phone's camera to zoom in. Look for signs of doubling on letters or details, flawless surfaces with no scratches or wear. And now, before you get too excited, remember that these rare pennies are like needles in a haystack. But hey, if you're not looking, you'll never find one, right? Here's where things get wild. The coin's value isn't just about its rarity or condition. It's also about demand. Collectors love completing their sets, and if a coin is rare enough, they'll pay top dollar to own it. It's a bit like Pokemon cards or sneakers, except way cooler because it's history in your hands. For the 1996 D penny, auctions have seen bidding wars that'll make your head spin. A pristine example of this coin sold for $1.3 million recently, and the buzz around it hasn't stopped since. Alright, time for a little story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, the usual, fast food wrappers, random receipts, and, of course, a pile of coins in the cup holder. I almost dumped the whole pile into one of those coin counting machines when a shiny penny caught my eye. It was a 1996 D penny, and I remembered hearing something about rare pennies from that year. So, I took it home, grabbed a magnifying glass, and inspected it like Sherlock Holmes. Turns out, it wasn't worth millions, but it was worth $50 because of a minor error. Not bad for a penny I almost threw away, right? That experience taught me to always check my change. You never know what hidden treasures might be lurking in your pocket. So, there you have it, the fascinating story of the 1996 D mint mark Lincoln penny. It's proof that even the smallest things can hold incredible value. Now it's your turn to start digging through your coin jars, wallets, and maybe even the couch cushions. Who knows? You might just strike gold or, well, copper. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips and stories about coins that are worth way more than you'd expect. Plus, you'll learn how to spot valuable coins, avoid scams, and maybe even make a small fortune along the way. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Picture this: you're digging through an old jar of pennies. Maybe it's in your attic, maybe it's that random jar your grandma always said had some history. Suddenly, you find a penny. It's a little worn, nothing fancy. But wait, it's a 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Could this be your ticket to $1.4 million? Yes, you heard that right, a penny that could turn you into a millionaire. Stick with me, because today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny. We're talking value, rarity, and why this little piece of copper might be worth more than your car. Oh, and along the way, I'll share a story about how I almost overlooked a penny worth hundreds. Spoiler, don't make the same mistake. So grab your coffee, and let's talk pennies that are worth big bucks. The 1967 penny. This was a time when the US Mint was in chaos. You see, in the mid-60s, coin collectors were hoarding coins like toilet paper during a pandemic. Yep, even back then. To stop the madness, the Mint decided to stop putting mint marks on coins from 1965 to 1967. That's why this penny has no mint mark. Not so fast. While most of these pennies are worth a cent or two in pocket change, a few of them are what collectors call error coins. These rare beauties could be struck on the wrong planchet, double die errors, or have other quirky mistakes that make them insanely valuable. That's where the $1.4 million price tag comes in. Here's where it gets interesting. There's one story about a 1967 penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million because it had a unique die error. It was like finding a Picasso at a garage sale. So, next time you find a 1967 penny, take a closer look. Check the edges, the details, and the overall condition. You never know, yours might be the next jackpot. Speaking of condition, let's talk grading. Coins are like high school report cards: the better the grade, the better the payoff. A 1967 penny in mint state, meaning it looks like it just rolled off the press, can fetch hundreds, even thousands. And if it's one of those rare error coins? That's when you start dreaming of yachts and tropical vacations. And now, let me tell you about my personal experience. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, yes, the kind with more weird trinkets than actual deals. I came across a box of coins for $5. I figured, why not? Fast forward to me sitting at home, sorting through them, and almost tossing a penny into the meh pile. But something caught my eye. It was a 1972 penny with doubling on the date. That penny? It sold for $300 at auction. Moral of the story: never underestimate the power of a penny. And one quick tip: if you're not sure about your penny, invest in a good magnifying glass or loupe. They're cheap and could save you from accidentally spending a small fortune at the grocery store. So, what's the takeaway here? That jar of change sitting in your closet might be more than just spare cash. The 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that even the smallest things can hold enormous value. Next time you're sorting through your pennies, keep an eye out for rare features, errors, or pristine condition. Who knows, you might just stumble upon your own $1.4 million treasure. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel is your ultimate guide to coins worth big bucks, tips for collectors, and stories of amazing finds. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, totally unaware, when suddenly, bam! You come across a penny that could be worth a fortune. A penny! Yup, today we're talking about the 1984 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a little copper treasure with a staggering value of $1.5 million in the current market. That's right, one single penny could potentially change your life. Now, before you start flipping over every penny you've ever saved in the couch cushions, stick around because we're going to uncover exactly why this coin is worth so much, how you can spot one, and what makes it stand out from the rest. Oh, and I've got a fun little story about my own lucky penny moment. Spoiler alert, it wasn't worth $1.5 million, but it was still pretty wild. Alright, grab your coin jar, get comfortable, and let's dive into the fascinating world of rare pennies that could make you rich. The D-Mint mark means this coin was minted in Denver. But here's the kicker: it's not just any 1984 penny that's valuable. Nope. You're looking for something really special. A rare variety that collectors go absolutely nuts over. This coin is famous for something called a double die error. Now, if you're new to the coin world, don't worry, I'll break it down. A double die error happens during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin shifts just slightly. As a result, some letters, numbers, or designs on the coin appear doubled. In the case of the 1984 D penny, the doubling is most noticeable on Lincoln's ear. Yup, Honest Abe has a bit of a hearing problem on this coin, and it's made collectors lose their minds. And now here's where things get even crazier. A perfect, uncirculated 1984 D penny with this error recently sold at auction for, you guessed it, $1.5 million. Imagine finding that bad boy in a jar of spare change. That's like finding a winning lottery ticket hidden in your sock drawer, and let me tell you, people are looking everywhere for these pennies. I once had a friend who got so obsessed with finding rare coins, she made her entire family empty their piggy banks at Thanksgiving. Let's just say the only thing more divided than the cranberry sauce was the family's opinions on her coin hunting skills. Spoiler alert, she didn't find an error penny, but she did find a Canadian dime, so there's that. Alright, now that I've got your attention, here's how you can find one of these legendary 1984 D pennies. First, look for that Denver mint mark. It's a small D located just below the year on the coin. Next, grab a magnifying glass or a coin loupe. Trust me, you'll need it. Check out Lincoln's ear. If it looks like he has an extra earlobe or a strange doubling effect, you might be holding onto something incredible. But here's the thing: condition matters. A coin in pristine condition can fetch the highest prices. So, if you think you found one, don't just toss it in your wallet. Store it carefully, preferably in a coin sleeve or holder, and get it professionally graded. You don't want to risk damaging something potentially worth $1 million, right? Now, let me share my own little adventure with penny hunting. A few years back, I found this super shiny penny in my car's cup holder. I was convinced I had hit the jackpot. I mean, it looked like it had just rolled off the minting press. I grabbed my magnifying glass, inspected every detail, and even Googled for hours to figure out if I just discovered a rare gem. It was just a regular penny. No errors, no doubling, just a painfully average coin. But you know what? That experience sparked my love for coins, and I've been hunting for rare treasures ever since. So even if you don't find a $1.5 million penny, you never know what else you might discover. Alright, folks, that's the scoop on the 1984 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who's curious about the value hiding in their spare change, this little coin proves that big things can come in small packages. So here's your call to action: start checking your change. Who knows, you might just stumble upon a fortune. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now go grab that jar of pennies and start your own treasure hunt. Hey there, treasure hunters. Have you ever checked your pocket change and wondered if you were holding a small fortune? What if I told you that a humble penny could be worth $1.6 million? Yeah, you heard that right, a penny. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1970 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that's turning heads in the collector's world. Trust me, after this, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. So, grab your coffee, settle in, and let's uncover the secret to what makes this little penny such a big deal. The 1970 D penny gets its name from the D mint mark stamped below the date, showing it was minted in Denver. Now, what makes this penny worth a whopping $1.6 million isn't just its age, it's all about the details. This penny has a rare die variety, which means there was a slight error during its production. Errors might sound like a bad thing, but in the world of coin collecting, it's like finding a golden ticket. The most valuable 1970 D pennies are the ones with a double die obverse. That's just a fancy way of saying the design looks like it's been stamped twice, creating a sort of ghosting effect. If you've got one of these bad boys lying around, you're basically sitting on a small fortune. But let me warn you, spotting this error requires a magnifying glass and a bit of patience. So, channel your inner Sherlock Holmes and get investigating. A couple of years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his attic. We stumbled upon an old jar of coins he'd been collecting since the 1960s. At first, I thought, cool, maybe there's a wheat penny in here. But lo and behold, mixed in with a bunch of regular coins was a 1970 D penny. My heart skipped a beat. I grabbed a magnifying glass and started examining it like I was on an episode of Antiques Roadshow. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the rare variety. But hey, it's still a great memory, and it reminded me how exciting coin collecting can be. If you've got the rare double die obverse, you're looking at up to $1.6 million at auction. Yes, million. Even lesser-known varieties of this coin can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. So, it's worth checking out even if you don't hit the jackpot. Let's talk strategy. How do you know if your penny is the real deal? First, check the date and mint mark. If it says 1970 D, you're off to a good start. Then, look for any doubling on the letters or numbers. If you spot something suspicious, consider getting it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Trust me, they know their stuff and can help you unlock your coin's true value. Always handle your coins carefully. Use gloves or hold them by the edges to avoid leaving fingerprints. A coin's condition can make or break its value, so treat it like the treasure it might be. Alright, my fellow coin enthusiasts, we've covered a lot today. From the history of the 1970 D penny to what makes it worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million, I hope you've learned something new and maybe even got a little inspired to start checking your own loose change. Who knows? The next time you dig through your couch cushions, you might just strike it rich. What's the most interesting coin you've ever found? Drop a comment below, I'd love to hear your stories. And if you're as obsessed with coins as I am, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more tips, tricks, and wild stories about coins worth serious money coming your way. Hey there, treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts. Have you ever picked up a penny and thought, just another penny? Well, hold on to your hats because what if I told you that the penny sitting in your pocket right now could be worth $1.7 million? Yep, you heard that right, $1.7 million. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1968 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that's turning heads and making waves in the collector's world. Come on, it's just a penny. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a 1-cent coin the same way again. Oh, and stick around because I've got a funny little story about how my curiosity over coins got me into a bit of an awkward situation at a gas station. You won't want to miss it, alright, so what makes the 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so special? First, let's talk about what a no-mint mark means. If you flip over a penny and look just under the year, you might usually see a small letter like D or S. These letters tell you where the coin was minted, Denver or San Francisco, respectively. But if there's no letter? That means the coin was minted in Philadelphia. In 1968, something weird happened. The Philadelphia Mint produced a small batch of Lincoln pennies that were struck in error, and those mistakes are what make this coin so rare and valuable today. Mistakes in coin production? That's like a chef accidentally creating the best dish of their life. And guess what? Collectors are willing to pay top $1 million for these rare gems. So grab your change jar, find a 1968 penny, and check for these telltale signs. Look for signs of the coin being in excellent condition. If it's got scratches or wear, it might not fetch the big bucks, but hey, it could still be worth more than a penny. And now, you might be wondering, what's the deal with the $1.7 million price tag? Great question. Coins like these aren't just valued for their rarity, they're prized for their condition, too. If you've got a 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in near-perfect condition, also known as MS67 or higher in grading terms, you're looking at a payday bigger than most people's homes. A few years ago, I was paying for gas, and the cashier handed me change that included a penny from 1968. Being the curious coin nerd I am, I froze right there, squinting at this penny like I was examining a lost artifact. The cashier looked at me like, you okay? And I was like, do you have more pennies from 1968 back there? Long story short, they thought I was some kind of penny-obsessed lunatic. Turns out, it wasn't the rare one, but it taught me to always check my change. You just never know when you'll hit the jackpot. Why are collectors so obsessed with this coin? It's a perfect storm of rarity, history, and the human love for imperfections. Think of it as finding an original vinyl record with a misprint. Only this one's worth millions, and hey, don't worry if your 1968 penny doesn't immediately look like $1 million. Coins have hidden value that's not always obvious at first glance. Even if it's not mint state quality, it could still be worth a few $100 or $1,000 if it's rare enough. That's a lot better than 1 cent, right? So, there you have it, the fascinating, million-dollar world of the 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Who knew something as small and seemingly ordinary as a penny could hold such value? It just goes to show that the smallest details can sometimes have the biggest impact. Before you rush off to rummage through your piggy banks and jars of spare change, let me hit you with this. If you've enjoyed today's deep dive into coin collecting and want to learn more about hidden treasures, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends, it might just make someone else a millionaire. And hey, if you do find a 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $1.7 million, promise me one thing, send me a postcard from your dream vacation. Hey there, coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, or anyone who has ever wondered if that loose change in your pocket could actually make you rich. Today, we're diving into a story about a single penny that could change your financial future, a 1969 D-mint Mark Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny. Imagine finding one of these in your couch cushions or your grandpa's old coin jar. It's like hitting the lottery, but with way less effort. Now, before you start raiding your piggy banks, let me tell you everything you need to know about this rare gem. I'll cover what makes this coin so special, how to identify it, and the wild story behind its value. Stick around, and by the end, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1969 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D mark right below the date. But what makes this particular coin so valuable isn't just the year or the mint, it's all about the condition, errors, and a little something called a double die. A double die happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, creating this crazy, almost shadow-like doubling effect on the lettering or design. And trust me, the 1969 D penny is famous for this error. If you're lucky enough to have one with a clear double die on the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," you could be looking at the kind of money that lets you quit your job and buy a boat. A few years ago, my neighbor Joe, who's basically the king of garage sales, found a weird-looking penny in a jar of old coins he bought for $5. He thought it looked funky and decided to get it checked out. Long story short, the coin ended up being a 1969 D with the double die error. Joe sold it for over $1 million at an auction. One minute he's arguing with me about returning my lawnmower, and the next he's driving around in a brand new convertible. I still haven't gotten my lawnmower back. Great question. First, grab a magnifying glass. Yes, you'll look like a detective, but trust me, it's worth it. Look closely at the lettering on the coin. If you see doubling, especially on Liberty or 1969, you might just have hit the jackpot. It's not just about the error. The condition of the coin matters big time. Coins that are graded as mint state, meaning they look practically brand new, fetch the highest prices. So, if your penny looks like it's been through a washing machine a few times, it might still be worth something, but probably not $1.80 million. Speaking of value, let's talk numbers. Why exactly is this penny worth so much? It all comes down to rarity and demand. The 1969 D penny with the double die error is incredibly rare, like 1 in a billion rare. Collectors will pay top dollar to add it to their collection. The most recent sale of one of these pennies? $1.8 million. Let that sink in for a second. Someone literally paid almost $2 million for a penny. These pennies could be hiding anywhere. Maybe in an old jar in your attic, in the spare change from your morning coffee, or even in the random handful of coins your grandma gives you every time you visit. Alright, let's wrap this up. The 1969 D Lincoln penny is proof that treasure hunting doesn't always involve maps or metal detectors. Sometimes, it's as simple as checking your spare change. Who knows, you might already be carrying a fortune in your pocket now. Before you rush off to dig through your couch cushions, let me leave you with this. If you found today's video helpful, or if you just love the idea of turning pennies into paydays, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips, tricks, and stories about valuable coins you could own without even knowing it. And hey, if you do find a rare 1969 D penny, don't forget who told you about it. Maybe send me a postcard from your new yacht.